Hello my friends, this is 11th issue of the Weekly Links, and we're again going to talk about Java. What's on my plate for today? An overview of pattern matching for switch expression, new useful feature that integrates Spring Boot and Docker, query by example in Spring Data, and AI-driven features of JetBrains IDEs, and a few code review tips and tricks. My name is Alexander Barmin and this is my channel. If you like my videos and want me to continue, give me a like and put a comment. And obviously subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. Java accommodated a lot of new features and pattern matching for switch expression is one of them. You may remember that the main idea and use case for the switch statement is to replace a collection of if-else, control flow statements. You have seen this code many times, I suppose. If it is an instance of list, then do ABC. If it's instance of map, do CDF, and so on. Now, switch statement is extended, and Java 14 also added support of this pre-switch expression. What does it mean? Now switch can return value. Nevertheless, even after extension in Java 14, switch expression had limitations. The selector expression support only primitive type like byte, short, chart, and int. Please note that long not supported. Also it supports wrapper types and string, class, and enumerated types. Also, there was not possible to handle null values and no exception handling. Pattern matching was introduced in Java 17 and next refined in further releases and is to be finalized in Java 21. Okay, what changes it introduces? First of all type of the selector expression can be any reference type in addition to integral primitive types. Long is still not allowed, but now you can use your custom types, for example lists. Support of null is added, an optional when clause can follow a case label for conditional or guarded pattern matching. Like you can check that given value is of type string, but also the string is not empty. Exception handling is added, and what's more important, no fall-through semantic is added that allows not to write break statement at the end of the case block. You remember previously it was necessary to add break at the end. A few words about pattern matching itself. The main idea is that condition now can be tested not only against constant but also against patterns. So instead of checking in the case if value is ABC, in case of value DEF, do this or do that, you can also check. In case if type is, for example, string, do this, in case if type is int, do that, and so on. Okay. Let's take a look at examples. In this example, switch is checking type of the provided collection and executes actions specific to the collection. For example, only stack has pop method and only linked list allow to get the first element in this way. Also, please pay attention that there is a default block because this list of collection types is not exhaustive and Java checks it during compile time. In the previous example, the collection class type is used as a selector expression type, but actually you can combine multiple types, like in this example. As you may see, we are checking object against a pattern and the pattern can be of any type, obviously not only related to collection. Obviously, it is possible to test a null value explicitly outside the speech block and invoke a switch only if non-null, but again it is return us to good old if-else code. Now Java has support of null values in the switch expression. Conditions and guards. To do it, you may use when clause. For example, the provided example allows us to check that the collection is of type stack and it is not empty at the same time. What else is important to know? First of all, order is important and more specific patterns should go first. The good point is that now it is checked at compile time. Another important point to keep in mind that different type should not be used in different patterns. Only one pattern at a time, and the pattern should be exhaustive. Okay. I suppose it's a very good high-level overview and you can get more details from the article and the link is as ordinary in the description. Moving forward. Docker Compose support in Spring Boot. What is your regular routine to deal with external dependencies in Spring Boot applications? As for me, it is necessary to run Docker, next run all third-party dependencies like database, message broker, and after that I can start the application. When work is done, switch them off back. Well, now Spring Boot starting version 3.1 makes our life a bit easier and allow to start dependencies automatically, together with Spring Boot application. Well, okay, it was possible before. First of all, you could do it manually, obviously, and secondly, there were a lot of Maven and Gradle plugins that helped in it. Now it's a bit easier. You need to add a dependency and Spring Boot will start containers on its own. Okay. What can we configure there? Obviously, it is possible to set path to the Docker Compose file, for example, in case if it is named differently or live in a separate folder. It is also possible to ignore some services and do not start them at all. For example, in this case, Redis will not be started because it has a label org Spring Framework boot ignore equal to true. And it is possible to add additional health checks to containers. I suppose it's a very good feature, especially because it starts all the dependencies in one go and you don't really need to care about them on your own. To be honest, Spring Data is very good at simplification of your life. Spring Data repositories are very convenient, especially because you don't need to write queries in SQL or JPQL, but still need to follow some naming convention for methods. In case if it's not enough, you can put add query annotation on top of your method and write your own query. Not so bad at all. But actually that's not all, because Spring Data has another very useful feature and it is query by example. To start using it, you need to add an additional interface query by example executor to your repository definition and you're ready to start using it. Let's take a look at example. Let's assume we have a data model with posts and comments and it is necessary to find all the comments that belong to a particular post. This is the example we could use to retrieve them. So, the one single thing we need to do is to create an instance of the comment that looks like something we're looking for or trying to find out. And obviously, we can make this query more complicated and add additional conditions and ordering. So, like in this example, adding sort by as a second parameter to the find all method. Other features like find by multiple fields and different conditions are available. For example, in this scenario, a page of comments is extracted. All of the comments belong to the given post, have a given status and have word awesome in the review. The results are sorted ascendingly by creation date. Good feature to use, I suppose. Well, you can argue that you can actually write the same query in SQL or JPQL, but these queries are not checked during compile time. You will see errors only in runtime. So it's better to be aware of alternatives and first of all know in which scenarios it's better to use one or another feature. In one of the previous issues of the Weekly Links, I already told about GitHub Copilot X and its advantages. GitHub Copilot X has the best support in VS Code, but IDEs like IntelliJ IDE has better support of Java. Well, in case if you have doubts or opinion regarding it, I strongly recommend you to write a comment, let's discuss it there. Okay, JetBrains added support of AI to their IDEs, and if it's necessary, you may ask AI to talk about piece of code, generate comments for the code, and describe parameters, suggest better name for the method, and even generate a commit message. A full list of supported IDEs and territories where this feature works are available in the article. Article is as ordinary in the description of the video. And please, let's say, write a comment in case if you're using AI, which helps you write in your code, and in case if you're not using it also, please write a comment. I'm really interested to know, let's say, what tool are you using for your day-to-day activities. I, for example, not allowed, unfortunately, to use AI power tools in production, but I use it for my personal pet projects. Last but not least, an article about tips for peer code review. Well, I can admit that quite often I do code review based on my own understanding and imagination of the perfect code. It should be well formatted, it should be fully tested, and so on and so forth. But year after year I started to understand that not all the team members have the same understanding and share same ideas. But I cannot, let's say, I should admit that all of them are great engineers. So it's really good to have a list of personal guidelines that help you to review code, but it's more important to have a list of things that checks everyone, like code review guidelines for the team, and these guidelines should be available and accepted by all the team members, which is much better. Regarding the article, I found it useful and interesting because it corresponds to my views to code review. By the way, what's your favorite thing that you pay attention to during code review? Please put ideas in comments, and that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next week. Bye.